Hello, welcome to Gurukul's CAT 100 series, a series that's designed specifically to take you from your study room to the corporate boardroom. I am Prady Sharma and this is Verbal Mastery with Prady.
Hello guys, so welcome back to another video. Now this is today's passage. In case you want to take this as a test, you know where to go. You need to go on to www.thegurukul.org.in. The description is given below. Okay, sign up for the 100 days to CAT test series. Okay, obviously this is a free series for all of you. Yes, where we'll be uploading 100 tests of quant, LR and verbal ability, one for each day of your CAT exam preparation to keep you consistent with your prep and make sure that you go directly from your study room to the corporate boardroom. Now, if you've not taken the test yet, that's completely fine. We can just continue with this video. You can solve along over here. Now, all you've got to do is pause the video when I ask you to pause the video, resume back, answer the questions, and then we'll discuss the passage and the questions in detail. Right? So before we get into this video, drop a thumbs up, give that like button a hit, and then we'll go into the video. Okay, so this is your first paragraph. Pause the video here, jot down all the main points, then we'll go into the second paragraph. Now, this is your second paragraph. Pause the video here, jot down all the main points, then we'll go into the questions of this passage. Okay, so question number 1. Pause the video here, take a maximum of 1 minute, answer this question, and then we'll move into the question number 2. Okay, question number 2, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we'll move forward into question number 3. Alright guys, question number 3, pause the video here, answer down this question, and then we'll go into the question number 4. Okay, so last question of this passage, pause the video here, answer this question, and then we'll move into the passage explanation and the question explanations. Right, now that you've answered all the 4 questions, what I need you to do is comment down your answers below so that once I discuss the entire questions with you, you can check if what you've gotten is correct or not. Alright, so let's quickly get into the passage explanations. Golden Visa programs, also known as the immigrant investor programs, first gained traction in 1980s when tax havens like St. Kitts in US introduced them to attract wealthy individuals. So now, what does this mean? So traction means popularity. Okay, and tax havens, that means countries or locations with very less tax. Okay, tax benefits, we can think of it that way. Okay, for very simple understanding, I'm writing benefits. Okay, so countries which provided tax benefits started introducing these to attract wealthy individuals. Okay, so around the same time, Canada began offering visas to those who invested $150,000 in an investment fund. So now here the introduction part is just talking to me about why golden visas, okay, were necessary, and just he's talking about how they're attracting wealthy individuals. Even the United States launched the EB-5 visa in 1990, granting green cards for people who invested in businesses that employed at least 10 workers. These days, that investment must reach at least $800,000. Okay, so very, very big investment. Again, another continuation where he's talking about another country and what it's doing further. But it wasn't until the aftermath of 2008, so this but is becoming very important for us over here, because till here it's all positive, right? It's all very positive about the golden visas, but what's happening over here? It wasn't until the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis that golden visas became a widespread tool for economic recovery. So only in 2008 financial crisis, after that, the countries lost a lot of economy, they lost a lot of money. That is when they wanted to use these golden visas to recover that economy back. Okay, particularly European countries like Cyprus, Italy, Ireland and Spain, that used them to rebuild. So these countries wanted to rebuild their economy, that is why they offered golden visas. Now Portugal started a program in 2012 granting temporary resident status for a minimum of $568,000 real estate investment. So they wanted to get people to buy houses at least worth 568,000 USD, okay, so that they would be given a temporary residence. It was essentially a bailout for the country. Now bailout means bringing back from a terrible situation. Okay, empty, neglected buildings dotted the landscape. Dotted means they were all around. Okay, dotted the landscape of cities like Lisbon, and their depressed prices, extremely reduced prices, were still too expensive for the locals whose income had been ravaged. What is ravaged, guys? Ravaged is significantly disturbed or significantly destroyed, right? So incomes have been ravaged ravaged during the financial crisis. So there were a lot of empty houses. People were not able to afford them, even though the prices were extremely less, which is why they wanted people to come invest in the real estate so that the company's economy could recover back, right? So let's go to the next part of the paragraph. In the next decade plus, that means in the next 10 or so years, investors would pump $8 billion into Portugal as a part of their Golden Visa program. So this became very successful. There was a lot of money invested into it. But as economies recovered, that means soon when the money came back to the countries and the countries recovered, and pandemic movement precipitated by remote work caused global housing prices to spike. That means wherever they were, they could work from there. So the house became a very important commodity for them. So all these houses prices spiked. That means went up. Okay. So spike means went up, right? So golden visas became less necessary and potentially damaging. Why was this potentially damaging? Because foreign buyers, okay, scooped up properties. That means took over. Okay, in this condition we can think of as bought. They bought up properties with cash and beat out locals. That means locals weren't able to afford that much. Foreign nationals were able to put in that money and they were able to take off the houses. So what happened to the locals? They won't have any place to stay. And now with the pandemic, they needed a place to stay, right? So that was the biggest disadvantage with the Golden Visas program. So in Lisbon, median real estate sales prices soared. Soared means, became increased. Soared means increase. So increase from they increased 62% from 2018 to 2024. Between this period, it increases more than half. Portugal ended up modifying its program to grant golden visas to contributing an investment fund rather than purchasing real estate. So then Portugal started saying, okay, you don't buy houses here, just put it in an investment fund and we'll give you that golden visa. Spain and Ireland have scrapped their golden visas. Scrapped in this context, stopped completely. Okay, guys, so they've taken off their golden visa programs altogether. With tighter restrictions on golden visas elsewhere, Greece has become a new top destination. So every other place, now there are tighter restrictions, there are more restrictions. So Greece is becoming a nice new destination for all these foreign people, wealthy people to go and get a golden visa. This year, Henley and Partners, a business that assists golden visa buyers, ranked the country as world's #1 option for an investment to gain residency. So there's some people, Henley and Partners, what did these people do? These people told that Greece is the best destination, #1 top destination for people to go and get their golden visas. Now, if you understood this passage, leave a thumbs up down, hit that like button. Let's get into the questions now. Which of the following statement best captures the central idea of the passage? So what is the main idea of this passage? That's the question all about. Golden visa programs have consistently proven to be beneficial economic tools for all participating countries since their inception. That means right from their starting. For all the countries, they have always been good. Now, obviously, there were downfalls, right? There were downsides that we see in the passage, right? So this cannot be our correct answer. This cannot be our correct answer. The primary purpose of golden visa programs has shifted from attracting investment to addressing housing shortages in countries. Now, this is only one case. This is only the case of Portugal and not everyone else, correct? So this is what we call as a partial scope choice. So I'm going to remove this as well from the tool of answers. Initially a tool for economic recovery. Yes, that means golden visas were a tool for economic recovery. They wanted to, they put in golden visas just so that they could recover the economy. Golden visa programs have evolved, prompting some countries to reconsider, that means change or alter their structures due to changing economic conditions and social impacts. Now this encompasses all the ideas that have happened, that have come forward in the passage. So this could be a potential answer. If we don't find any better answer, we'll go for this. The United States and Canada were pioneers in golden visa programs, which remain largely unchanged since the 1980s. See, golden visa programs change. No one told that US and Canada are the best. Correct? So, for both of those reasons, we can remove this as our correct answer. Now, the only right answer that fits is option C. Let's go forward to the second question. It can be inferred from the passage that Portugal's decision to modify its golden visa program from real estate investment to investment funds was primarily driven by. So, what was the reason for Portugal to modify their program from real estate to investment? The reason that we've seen in the passage was that people who were from outside, foreigners, they were buying up land and they were beating out locals. That means the locals were not able to purchase land in their own country, right? So a significant decrease in the overall investment capital received through the program? No, this was not the reason. It was not about the investment received at all. So I'm going to take this off. The success of similar investment fund models implemented by Spain and Ireland. Now see, Spain and Ireland, they've scrapped their entire thing. They didn't change anything. So this is also not the answer. An effort to mitigate the adverse effects. Mitigate, to lessen. Adverse effect, negative effects, right, of foreign real estate purchases on local housing affordability. Now this is what we have seen in the passage, so this becomes our best possible answer so far. The diminishing appeal of Portuguese real estate to wealthy foreign investors post-pandemic. So again, post-pandemic also foreign people wanted to keep buying stuff. It's not that they didn't want to buy stuff. So this option is inconsistent, so I'm going to remove this. So the correct answer for us should be C. Now let's move to the third question. The phrase golden visas became less necessary and potentially damaging primarily suggests that. So what does this phrase, okay, that golden visas became less necessary and more potentially damaging, what does that mean? A, the initial economic crisis that necessitated, that means that needed these programs had largely been resolved. Yes, so far this point is true. And new problems emerged from their continued operation. Perfectly valid. Yes, so initially there were problems which this solved. So it was necessary before. Now it became less necessary. Why? Because more problems started coming out of it. So this is a good answer for us. If there's no better answer, we'll go with this answer. The programs failed to attract the intended level of investment. Nowhere in the passage did it tell that it failed to, bring in investments, right? So I'm going to remove this option. I'm not going to read the next part of the, answer. Foreign investors began to exploit loopholes in the program, leading to illicit financial activity. So this part, maybe we can infer, but there's no mention of illegal financial activities anywhere in the passage, right? So this also can be taken off as the correct answer. The global pandemic rendered real estate investments unattractive to high net worth individuals. This has not happened. This is exactly opposite of what has been mentioned in the passage. So I'm going to remove this. The correct answer for us will be A. Right? So let's go to the last question of this passage. Based on the passage, the current global trend regarding golden visa programs can be best characterized as. So how can we think of the current global trend about visa programs? A complete abolition, that means a complete stop of all such programs worldwide due to their proven negative impacts. No, worldwide they have not stopped. So that's not the current global trend. Some countries have stopped. So I'm going to remove this. A consistent shift in preferred investment type from real estate to diverse investment funds across all major programs. Now again, it's not been through all major programs. It's only seen in Portugal, right? So again, I can take this off. A re-evaluation and recalibration of existing programs. That means thinking again about how the program should be by many countries. Okay, so this is sufficiently open-ended, leading to tighter restrictions or redirection and a shift of investor interest to new, more permissive destinations. So this more permissive destination should be Greece, right? So this option best fits what's happening today in the world according to the passage about golden visas. D, an expansion into new previously unexplored markets maintaining their original structure as primary driver of economic recovery. Again, they're not seen as a primary driver for economic recovery anymore. As far as Greece is concerned, there's no mention in the passage saying that Greece is looking at an economic bailout of any sort. So I can remove this also. The best possible answer will be C. That's all for today, guys. So if you're liking these videos and if you're a serious CAT aspirant, then continue watching the other 2 videos that's shown on the end screen. And for more such things, drop a like button, share this with all your friends, and comment which part of this passage you found the most interesting.
Hope you enjoyed learning from today's session.
This series is designed to help you with your CAT preparation and practice daily. We are with you in this journey.
To watch the next video, click here. And to watch Gurukul's CAT 100 series, study room to boardroom, the entire playlist, click here.
If you learned from today's session, like, share, and subscribe.